M0FXB, welcome to my channel, Digital Ham Radio Diary. M0FXB, welcome to my channel. Right, well, we managed to get hold of this software. We found a very good price on it on eBay, so download only, but well, very happy with it. So this is the software. It allows you to control, most of the high-end Icom radios like the 705, 7300, 7610. And many other good radios. So what we're going to do, we've got this, where is it, this setup page from M0IAX. So I'm going to quickly just take you through it. So once you get the download and run it, you will end up with two windows. One is RSBA1 remote and one is Icom remote utility. So let's just read through. When you install the RSBA1 version 2 software, you will find two icons in your start menu, your desktop, one for RSBA1 and another Icom remote utility. We do not need to run RSBA1 to set up the digital modes, so we can ignore that for now. That's fair enough. So we won't do the remote one straight away. Double click. So when we install it, this is what we're going to get. And we will do this, but I just want to go through it. So probably do that one, I think. But anyway, set up for a remote PC, a radio with a server function. Set up with a remote PC, connect through a server PC. Get that. I do want to do this wirelessly and wired. Set up for a local direct connect to the radio and PC. That's probably how I use it the most with the cable. But I'm going to do it wirelessly as well. Set up for server PC, the radio is accessible by remote. Yeah, so all quite good. So you get the setup wizard. I'm just going to copy what he does and then enter into the radio here. As you can see, as it goes through, so network name, DHCP valid on restart, so it must reboot when that goes in. Network name, we'll have our own user ID, network user ID, like so. Icom utility. Enter a name for the radio. You can enter multiple configurations and radios, so if you need to set up on a separate networks or IP addresses, enter the name that you can easily identify each one. Note that if you entered the network name for your Icom 705 in the previous screen, then the software should find the radio no matter what the IP address is. The radio will now be listed in the Icom remote software server list. If the radio is already connected to the network, then the software will automatically connect to it and at this stage and create an entry in the radio list tab. Number 8, select the radio list tab and click on the entry in the list of your radio to select it. Now click settings. Okay, look at everything here. We can now set the COM port number that will be used for cat control. It doesn't matter what number you pick, but make sure you can remember which one it is. You will need this to set up your digital mode software. There you go, there's all the settings. COM70 here. Pick your selection of COM port name from the list. I've picked COM70 and click OK. There you go. Icom remote will show you your selected COM port number. Click OK. There you go. Now to connect to the radio if not already connected, select the entry in the list. So you highlight the blue one. If all is okay, remote software will show that you are connected and tell you the CIV address, COM port and virtual audio devices. Right, we see that. The final step when setting up for digital modes is once connected to the IC705, click the mod button. When in the mod, select click and the radio button labeled V audio and click close. You are now ready to set up your favorite digital mode software. Treat the Icom remote software like it is your radio. So for example, if your software has a list of radios, select the Icom 705 as the rig and the COM port you set in the Icom remote as the port or cat control. So that would be 70, wouldn't it? Select the virtual audio as your sound input output. Remember, you do not need to run the RSBA1 software to use Icom remote with digital mode software. You just run the Icom remote. If you run the RSBA1, it will prevent you from using the Icom remote. I will produce some guides for individual software later if anyone needs them. Hope this is of use. This is more about setting up for digital connection. So you're running the software and then it connects you wirelessly to your Icom 705. So yeah, 7.3 for now. In this section we are going to run the driver and the software that we've installed into our laptop. Now we do have a manual that's come with this download, so let's just quickly double click it and have a look. Just scroll down and have a look here. Transceivers. It's interesting. Compatible transceivers. I'm guessing they're adding all the time. 7851, 7850, 760. Here's some LAN port ones. So also 7700, 9700. We know the 705 works. 7100. That's interesting. Yeah, that is interesting. There you are, there's an overview of what it does. Some firewall stuff. Yeah, so have a good read of that. And we'll give it a go, isn't it? Right, so let's double click driver, Windows 10, and which one are we going to choose? 64? No, it's going to be one of these, isn't it? Let's try 64. No, let's go back. I got a feeling it'll be one of these two. Click yes, and then we'll follow it through. As that goes through, so that's good. And then what about the other one? Do we even need that one? We're going to do it anyway. Okay, that's good. So it's obviously that wasn't the 64 version. Right, so that's that done. Now let's go to the RSBA1. So set up XC. Let's do that. Click yes, and then we'll follow it through. And this is the version 2, English. Cup of tea. It's about 7:30 AM in the morning in the UK. Sunday morning, everyone's in bed. The way I like it. Let's see how long this takes. The idea, once we've got this all set up, we can have a go using it just as a normal HF radio using the software, but also we can use it for FTA. Sorry, my brain's thinking about 10 things at the same time. Right, we got to next, so we'll hit next, accept, next. Right, type your name below. You must also use the name of the company you work for. So I'm just going to put in my call sign on both, I think. Actually, I better use a different name. I don't want everyone to see my stuff, do I? So we'll just pause. Right, so that's going nice, so go next. It's installing, it's accepted our numbers. Let's watch this happen. Click install. Well, I'm quite pleased about getting this because I've got the 705 and I've got the 7300, so I'm going to make really good use of this, and I can it's going to be interesting to be able to go around the house with my laptop and further and still have this radio turned on at home connected to my G5RV and work it. But I spend a lot of time just sat at this table, this kitchen table, and it'd be nice to have the big laptop instead of, because you sort of squint down, don't you, when you're using a small radio like the 705. So click finish. So that's it, it's all installed. Okay, so once you've got the main software installed and you've got these two little icons that have appeared, Icom remote utility and RSBA1 remote control, then you just need to update it. So that's part of the file you get when you buy this. So just double click update, click yes, and it pretty much runs quite easily. Go next, and then it will accept the terms and it will update everything, and at the end of it it will say finished. So I'll leave it live so you know how long it takes. Got little Nico here in the background, don't know if you can hear that. There you are. Update complete. The installation wizard has updated RSBA1 version 2 to version 2.3. So that's the next stage. M0FXB still here. So we're going to get the settings in to make this Icom 705 act as a server, so we can sort of remotely control using the RSBA1 software. So we're going to configure the remote connection server mode. Then we can use it to remotely connect to our access point at home, could be our router, or actually we could use this radio as an access point. Right, let's get into the settings. So menu, then set. Then we'll go down to WLAN. At the moment we're going to just turn that off. And we'll scroll down to remote settings. Right, let's tap that. So network control at the top, so let's turn that on. So we'll scroll down. 5001, 5002, 5000. We'll leave all that. Internet access line valid after restart. Leave that for now. Now we do need to configure network user 1. So in this section on network user 1, you need to put an ID and a password. And it has to be 6 characters. So I'll get them in there. I'm only going to create one user for now. We'll get them in there and then we'll move on to the next section. The password needs to have 8 characters. I'll set network administrator to yes. So I won't bother setting the second one, and the network radio name is IC705. So now we've got the correct configuration where this device, this 705, can act as an access point. So you can connect anything to it basically, and the one we'll be interested in will be our laptop. Okay, so back out of that now, and then you see remote settings, then just scroll backwards, go to connection type, select it, then you've got station, connect to network, select station. Let's turn on our wireless LAN now, click on. See why it won't let me. A minute, one sec. Okay, I just tapped a couple of times and it let me turn it on. Then we'll go connection type and then station. Right, well the other thing we've done is just go back, go to wireless LAN, go to connection settings station, and then hit DHCP valid after restart. So we'll do that on, and then we'll restart the radio. Go menu, set, wireless LAN, connection setting, no IP. So maybe our Wi-Fi is not on yet and not connected yet. Right, so I'm going to go to connection settings. So how did I get there? Go to wireless LAN, connection settings, access point. I'm going to put a password in there because I think it needs this. I'll just pause it. Okay, the password's in there. Now we'll go back to, we have an IP address there, we'll make a note of that, it's 59.1. Go back to wireless LAN and we will turn it on. Still not letting me turn it on. Right, then we're going to go to access point and see if it lets us turn it on. Access point, wireless LAN is on. So we're getting there step by step. So just look back through. So the wireless LAN is on, connection type, access point, connection settings, IP address is there. We've got a username and password in connection settings and it says access point. Network name is the same. Remote settings. We've got the user in. I've created a username and a password with 8 digits. Yes. For network administrator. Yeah, so everything should be okay now if you've just followed everything I've put in. When you come out now and look at the radio, you're going to see the Wi-Fi lit up now, and it's now like got a white square around it, and the actual Wi-Fi is black. It's got black lines. So hopefully you can see that quite clear. So right, let's move on to the next stage. So what's happening now is things can actually connect to the Icom 705 wirelessly. Okay, so we're going to the final part of the setup on the radio. Go menu, then click set, then find connectors here, connectors, then go to the top and go to mod input. So leave those two at 50, and data mod, I'll leave that at mic USB for now. Data mod, now if you're going to use a USB cable, leave it at USB, and I'm going to have a go at doing that as well. But in this section we're trying to do it wirelessly, so we're going to hit wireless LAN. So you'll have to remember, say you've been using the radio in wireless LAN, you'll have to remember if you decide to use the USB cable, to switch it back, or otherwise it won't work. So that's the radio all set up. The goal here at the moment is to wirelessly control this radio using my laptop with and you do unfortunately need to get the RSBA1 Icom software. Now I found this at a very bargain price on eBay. Yeah, you get no disc and that, but you do get the sort of license number that you need to activate the software, and it's and I think if most of us have got Icom 7300s and 705s, it's going to be well worth it. And I'm you know, and I got mine for under £30, so I think that is a good investment. So so this is the radio part of the setup, so I'll chuck this on YouTube now. Eventually I'll do one video with all three parts of this section in one, but I'll put it all up separately as well. So please, if you enjoy this, subscribe and just getting your Icom 705 ready for access mode and wireless control. 7.3, all the best. M0FXB, just regarding the RSBA1 software. So I've done one video for access mode settings, but the mode that actually worked for me better was station mode. So I'm going to show you how you do it. So it did just now have a little square there saying WLAN, and that's when you know it's working. But I've just gone out of range so I can make this video of the router. But anyway, so what you do, I'll just show you the settings. Just go menu, set, wireless LAN, remote settings, network user number 1, on network user ID, put in IC705 there, same as that. Tap that, create yourself a password, and network user administration, select yes. Let's just go back. Okay, so network control valid after restart, on, and then these are all default. So 5001, which is the main one. 5002, 3, just showed you these ones. Let's go back. So the connection type, so you can choose two. Now this video is about station, so imagine that if you use access, you're basically setting up this radio, the 705, as a server. Now I couldn't get that to work, to be honest, so I thought I'll show you the one I could get to work, which is this one, where you use the radio as a station, and somehow it also connects to your router at home. So when I select it, these are the settings I used. So obviously the wireless LAN is on, connection type station that you've chosen, and then you have your station settings. And then what I did was just clicked, I think I clicked access point, waited a while, and it just found it on its own, my router, which already had the password. So obviously if you haven't put the passwords in, you need to get your router password in. These are the different ones in my house. So once I did that, this IP address appeared, which is 192.168.1.104, and that is the IP address that I used when I went into the settings of the RSBA1 configuration, which then connected it to my router. So I'm guessing that if I had my public IP, somehow I would know, if I wanted to remotely connect from outside this house, I would somehow use my public IP to get to my router and then get to the radio. Now I haven't done that, but this is just me sat using the radio on a laptop wirelessly, with the radio sat next to the laptop and the router within range, my home broadband router. So Hope this helps. It worked for me and got me up and running. 7.3, all the best. M0FXB, yeah, so finally got this Icom 705 working with the RSBA1 software. So if you look on the left, there's the radio. And you can hear that there's audio coming from the radio there. Now look on the computer. If you look at the RS software, look, the frequencies there. We can control, you know, the mode. We've got the signal meter coming in there. We can control the tuner, tune, you know, all these functions here on the left. All the bands here, filters. I've only just turned this on, so it's all fully working. It's all your connect and disconnect. There's lots more to discover on this, but it's very good. I'll put a link in where I got it from, because it cost me around £30, and these are normally like £100, this software, and I can use it on my Icom 7300 as well. Now, there is a video to install all this, which I shall add. And at the moment, as you see, I just want you to notice that if you look here, it says radio list on the left, and that's the radio that's connected now. Now you can add more radios in this list. So right now it's the 705. But what you've got to remember is that when you configure it, that you configure the server separate. Now this is what threw me, because I've been here for ages trying to configure just one thing. But no, you do the server first, yeah, and then you fire up the this one here. Let's just get it right, with the sort of red and black square. And then you fire up and you configure that first, and then it's called the Icom remote utility, yeah, and then you fire up the RSBA1 remote control to actually control the radio. So that's what threw me. So I'll just show you what the server settings are. If you look at the radio, it actually says at the top, if you look at the radio, let's just make sure you can see the radio. I'll just minimize this a minute to make sure you can see the radio, because it is quite important. Let's have a quick look here. No, I can't see that, so, well, we'll have a look in a sec. But if you look at the radio, I'll put my finger there. It says wireless LAN, and we've got the Wi-Fi showing, and that's the key thing there. It needs to say wireless WLAN. And then the settings, if I go, just one sec. Menu, set, go to wireless LAN, and then the connection station. We're actually, the connection type that worked for me, I'm not saying it's the only way, is connection type is station. And then when you select that, notice that the wireless line is on. When you select that station, you could have selected access point. Now I couldn't get that working, so for now I've connected it to station connect to network. Now then, to configure that, see, that's you choose it here to select it. Then you go back, and then you go underneath it, connection type station, and then connection settings station is where you actually set it up. So tap it, and then there's the IP address, which appears when you tap it. So it's 192. It found it on its own. So that's the address you need when you connect the radio. Now there's a lot more to this, but this is just the part I wanted you to see when it was working. So let's just go back to that window, which is pretty much the setup window. So if you look at the server, and you can see I've literally just done this. So when I wanted to connect, the only way I can show you this is if I go backwards. So if I disconnect here, I don't really want to do this, but, and then properties, you can see what I've put in. I've put in the server address, which is the network name, which is that IP address I just showed you. The port is by default. The user and ID you actually set up in the settings. So the user ID, if you look here, go to LAN, go to remote settings, go to network user, and then see you've got the network user ID at the top there. Put that in, you can change that. And then the network user password, put that in, and that's your user and ID, and that's it really. Then you just go ahead, watch my other videos, and you'll see it working. Now let's see if we can just get it to connect again. Click connect. Very busy here at home as usual, and then you connect here. Well, look, the server's connected straight away, and then click. Might have to give it a couple of goes. Connected. So you've got a separate connection for the radio and the server. So the server's connected. Go to the radio, click connect, and yeah, you do got to faff around with it a bit. You know, sometimes it doesn't connect straight away, but it will. It will. And let's just click keep trying it. And so 7.3, and hope this is fun for you. Look at the other videos as well and see how you get on. So it looks like the radio's now connected now. That's disconnect and that's connect. So there you go. I hear it clicking away. I'll just turn it up so you can have a listen.
You can be 8 inches away from your phone and we'll still hear you. Just the way that it's set up on the phone. So yeah, just give it different.
I'll just use the radio to change some bands. So you can see I'm just going up and down the bands there. Tuner there. We haven't got a tuner. AGC changing. Preamp changing as well. I can see it changing on the radio. Noise reduction. Noise blanker. RF power. It's all working. So yeah, for not a lot of money, I think you get quite a lot. So 7.3, all the best.